It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. Welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. My guest today is an experienced food processing engineer, holds a Master of Science in Product Design and Development from Northwestern University, and is a noteworthy leader in the food and beverage industry. He serves as Executive Vice President of Global Manufacturing, Quality, and R&D for Heartland Food Products Group, which is the owner of an iconic food brand that you wouldn't really immediately equate with farming. However, this company has opened a stevia farm in Central Florida. Today, we're going to talk about this innovative farming process that he's involved in and his passion to help people reduce sugar in their diets. From the Splenda Brand, I would like to welcome Ricardo Reyes. Welcome, Ricardo, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
So first of all, can you tell me a bit about your background?
Sure. As you mentioned, I'm a food processing engineer. I am not an agronomist, but I do love agriculture. My grandfather was a farmer, and I spent many years of my childhood visiting his farm and learning from him the various aspects of farming, like corn, wheat, and sorghum. Since I was little, I always had an interest in food and beverages, and that is the reason why I decided to create an expertise in the field. And since I graduated from college, I've had the opportunity to work at 3 of the largest food companies in the world, giving me a great perspective of, how the products are created and then transported and reaching everybody's households. So about 7.5 years ago, I joined Heartland Food Products Group, which are the owners of the Splenda Brand. And I came here because the company's mission is to help people live happier, healthier, and longer lives by making it easier to reduce sugar. So this is a mission that I'm quite passionate about. And I think I found home here at Heartland.
Oh, that's really awesome. And I remember my mom, back in probably the early 90s, and she tried out Splenda just like all of the other moms. And people thought it was a weight loss fad back then. But here we are, 30 years later, Splenda is still available every grocery store and restaurant. So can you tell me about the company's growth and progress throughout the years? And it was originally owned by Johnson & Johnson, correct?
That's correct. Yes. So Heartland Food Products Group is a family-owned, privately held company that has been focused in the development and manufacturing of low-calorie products for many years. But in 2015, we made the acquisition of Splenda, the #1 sweetener brand recommended by doctors and dietitians, and decided to take on the big brand and transform it in a way where Splenda is no longer a product or a packet that people may relate us to. Splenda is really a brand that can bring great taste, low-calorie products for our consumers who want to reduce sugar from their diets.
Yeah, that makes sense. And today, especially with a lot of the popularity of low carb, low sugar diets, this is perfect. And obviously, this is why Heartland was so interested in it. Correct?
Correct. Yes. So this is an area where It's important, I was reading actually just this morning about some trends in obesity in the US, and how there is a need of reducing sugar out of our diets, calories in general, but sugar is a big contributor. So I really applaud our company's desire to expand the product portfolio. So just like you see Splenda Yellow, we see other, I call them flavors that we have on the market, such as stevia and monk fruit and allulose, other things that you'll find in the market for us. So we decided to take it yet another notch and say, okay, how do we guarantee the best possible products to be in the market? And vertical integration made sense for us. So we decided to embark on a journey and be farmers, and then take our products from farm to table.
Amazing. So, so what led to stevia? Was this just a natural progression?
Well, stevia, it's a product that has been, sold in many different countries, and it was adopted by the US market several years ago. It is a product that is a natural, it belongs basically to the natural category. People know and can relate to a little leaf, and can relate to a plant and say, okay, this is the type of products that consumer is seeking for. And for us, stevia is a, something that is the beginning, of a change in consumer behaviors. As I call them flavors, I'm a personal consumer of Splenda Yellow Classic. What others prefer stevia, others prefer monk fruit. However, in order for us to create this industry in the US, it was important that we would understand it from the very basic to guarantee the best tasting product. So stevia is a very generous plant that is perennial plant, and it made sense for us to bring it to the US as a new crop and be kind of spearheading those efforts.
Wow. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the farm.
So the farm is located about an hour or so drive from Tampa. If you drive northeast from Tampa on I-75, it's in Lake Panasoffkee. And this farm is designed to be able to do a propagation of our plant, and we have a field basically co-located where we can harvest the leaves of these plants when they mature. And then right next to them, we have also co-located an extraction facility. We do a water-based extraction in there, and it's basically a small footprint facility that is designed with the best technology we can find to make sure that we reduce carbon emissions. So trying to do, water conservation efforts, and then just do everything in a small footprint where we can gain the benefits without having to haul, stevia long distances that you would see in the normal supply chain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And are there tours available of the farm yet?
They're not available yet, but this is something that we're considering for the future, as many people are asking us about something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, I learned for my own life the benefits of reducing or even eliminating sugar from my diet. And it's had a really broad impact on my health, surprisingly on my work life as well. So reducing sugar actually stops the blood sugar highs and lows, and it keeps your energy level up throughout the whole day, which is amazing. That was a side effect of having a reduced sugar diet. So how is stevia different from sugar? And why doesn't it affect blood sugar the same way?
Oh, that's a very good question. So unlike sugar, which has about 16 calories per teaspoon, stevia has no calories. And the reason is because the steviol glycosides, that's the fancy name, those are the compounds responsible for the sweet taste in stevia. Those are not absorbed in the upper gastrointestinal tract. So they do not contribute to calories because it doesn't enter your bloodstream. So these food and beverages that are sweetened with stevia are frequently recommended to people with diabetes as an alternative to sugar-sweetened products, just because you can enjoy the sweet taste without that sugar intake and obviously prevent those blood sugar spikes.
Yeah, that's really neat. And plants never cease to amaze me at how different they are. You see two plants together and you'd think they'd behave the same way, but they don't. It's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And most of the stevia, the powder that we see in the grocery store, it's been imported from places like China. And having this crop grown here at the Splenda Stevia Farm in North America has so many benefits. So how is your stevia different from other stevia that's produced around the globe?
Well, that's another great question. So just like everything, you would have two different corns made from different plants, and they could look different and taste different. We have evolved our plants over the past 20 years by doing cross-pollinizations, the taller plant with the plant that has a better sweet taste. And these cross-pollinizations is just very natural. You arrange them in pots in such a way that the bees will do the work for you. They will help us with this cross-pollinization. You collect the seeds, and during that process, you sow the seeds and grow new plants. Well, it takes time, right? It took us 20 years in the making of finding a plant that is actually, we believe, the best tasting profile. There are different compounds on these plants that make them taste more bitter or metallic. And not just because it's stevia, it should taste the same. So our stevia, again, through all this effort that Heartland has done, it has a better sweet taste profile that we believe is closer to sugar.
Oh, that's amazing. And how does the farm benefit the environment?
Well, to your point, a lot of the stevia is imported to the United States from different countries, as far as China. And the carbon emissions of that operation is astonishing. So if you imagine, most stevia operations in China are being done by, I dare to say, hundreds of small farmers harvesting their stevia leaf, drying it, and then shipping it to a large city where the manufacturing facility is located. So while you're hauling all this stevia in so many different pickup trucks and trucks getting those bales of dry stevia leaf to the farm, everything is co-located, and then they have to produce this, steep the stevia, make the extracts. But the environmental impact of so much leaf, it's just, these are humongous volume of spent leaf that they have to deal with, which is basically it's a problem from them. But then once you make those extracts, they ship it around the world, in this case, coming all the way to the United States. And once the stevia gets to the United States, a lot of it is going to contract manufacturers that will make the product for certain brands. We are vertically integrated. So by doing so, we guarantee that we grow, we create our own extracts, and we do everything just right in the US, which we are very proud. That's Splenda is the only brand made in America. So we want to continue those efforts. And by doing so, we are looking at ways of how to have a full circle, of energy within our facility and reduce carbon emissions almost to net zero. So having the ability of having the spent leaf co-located where the field is, we can bring some of those nutrients back to our field. And then we're doing some testing as well to see what else we can do with the spent leaf. There's high potential that we can do like animal feed, use it for animal feed, which is developing, and really trying to find a full circle there.
Yeah, that's amazing. And obviously really smart. Very cool. And what about the local economy? I'm sure that this is having a big impact as well.
Well, yes, we're helping America build a new agriculture industry and farming jobs and prosperity to Central Florida for a moment. So we're very happy that the neighbors in the vicinity where we are located, they've shown tremendous interest in what we're doing, and we have applicants already. We're not at full scale to where we're going to be, but we have a line of people already wanting to come and join this effort.
Right. So why did you choose Florida for the farm? Is that the optimal growing zone, or is it, the best place to have the company? Like what were the deciding factors there?
Okay. So when this project started, we did a lot of testing in Brazil, and the climate conditions, the soil conditions of stevia, the stevia plant itself thrived under those conditions. And we believe that the region of Florida where we landed best mimics those conditions. So we had a higher chance of success. There's still a lot of research being done on stevia as a plant, and the hardiness of it and how it can, behave in different conditions. That for right now, we feel really safe that we found the right spot for it. But obviously, we will continue exploring other states and where this plant can be propagated and grown.
Yeah, that's cool. And how is the plant propagated? Is it do you take cuttings from the mother plants? Or are you growing it from seed?
Yeah, so right now we do it through cuttings. The reason of that, and many of your audience are better, can speak better to this than I can. But the reason is it took us so long to find the best genetics, those plants, that were the sweetest, better taste profile plants, that in order for us to assure that we have continuation of those plants is to create a cutting where the DNA, all the characteristics of the plant are preserved from plant to plant. So we do have greenhouses and nurseries on site where we do the propagation ourselves, and then go straight to the field.
Oh, so you have the greenhouses on site as well?
On site, yeah. So we have greenhouses, and that's where we have like a workers pavilion where people can come in and help, establishing all this new babies we call into a field, and starting from the mother plant, everything on site.
Right. Yeah. And how, just out of curiosity, how does the greenhouse handle the Florida heat in the summer?
Well, part of the propagation method is you don't want the stevia cutting from dehydrating. So by using misters and maintaining certain moisture in the environment, it helps also cool down, the plants. So it's not just for hydration, but it helps them cool down. And obviously we want to make sure that they're not in direct sun conditions. And as the plant grow or the seedling grows, we want to maintain and tune in the amount of sunlight that it gets as it's getting started and harder before it goes to the field.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's planted directly into the field after that.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. And what about crop inputs? Is it a really hungry plant? What does it need to be, for this healthy, abundant yield?
Well, it starts with the right genetics, of course, but once we have the plant, we want the proper, soil nutrients, sun, and the right amount of water. We have to be careful with water because the plant is sensitive to it. If you don't irrigate it enough, it gets stressed, just like everything else. If you overwater, it's another problem. So we bring technology to our field to make sure that we only irrigate whenever the moisture of the soil reaches a certain level. So it's something that we have it I think dialed in. It also helps that in the beautiful state of Florida, it rains almost daily during the summertime. So it's also part of the conditions that our plant is thriving in.
Yeah. It thrives in the same conditions I like, an hour of rain a day.
Exactly.
And then sunshine the rest of the time.
Exactly.
So could this be a good alternative crop for American farmers as you continue to grow, as this becomes more available in the United States? I guess probably just for the southern portion of the US.
Right. We believe so. We believe this will be a great alternative, which is part of the reason why we're doing it, not just because it's good for Splenda products, but it's just it's going to be a product that the entire North American community will embrace, and they would like to know where their stevia came from. So as people are asking those questions to themselves, they will want to know, the source, the origins. Made in America is a big movement. And our government has plenty of campaigns right now brewing, I would say, to help consumers reduce sugar from their daily intake. So as those trends change and people are more conscious about their nutrition they're getting, I think they will be inclined to substitute to a certain extent sugar for stevia in this case, or Splenda if that's what the consumer wants. But yes.
Yeah. All right. And you also, mentioned before that you offer monk fruit sweeteners. And so what's the main difference between stevia and monk fruit?
Well, I will tell you they're just two different quote unquote flavors. The stevia has a characteristic flavor profile. We don't add, flavors to the product as perhaps other brands may do. But what we do is we just harvest from the leaf. I call them the filet mignon of the leaf. So there's many parts of the extract that taste sweet, but when you create a plant that has larger amounts of, they are called ribaldicides, which is some of those sugars or flavor compounds in the leaf. The ribaldicide D and M, those are very clean tasting. That is something that we pay attention to, and that flavor profile tastes very close to sugar. Monk fruit, on the contrary, has like an earthy flavor. I describe it almost like a licorice flavor that is also appealing to a different consumer. As a company, as a brand, we want to bring different offerings to consumers, and they get to pick which one they like better. Perhaps they would like one better than another for coffee than tea, or one for baking more than the other. So our job is to make sure that at the end of the day, our consumers are successful on their journey to reduce sugar from their diets and give them options for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I know this is such a good direction as well, because I know people worry about, artificial sweeteners being chemicals, but it really does feel good knowing that this came from a farm, directly from a farm, whether it's monk fruit or stevia, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So from farm to table, being able to tell that story, it's important, and it's believable, and you can see it, and maybe so we can walk through it and show people. So I think it's a big bold move. We're very proud of what we're doing. It's time, 20 years in the making to finally get there, and the company is very excited to share this news with the world.
Yeah, that's really cool. And another, just out of curiosity, where does monk fruit grow?
Monk fruit grows. I'm not an expert in that area. I'm not an agronomist, but it's my belief that it grows in areas with high altitude, and it's a plant that it takes like a long time for harvesting. I believe it's a vine, but I can definitely do more research and get back to your team, and then the next session we can talk about monk fruit.
Yeah, that's it. A whole other crop to talk about.
Another discussion. Correct.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you. Why do you serve the food industry? Your whole history is in the food industry. What's your greatest passion in all of it?
I would say my greatest passion is nutrition. Yeah. I want to make sure that people, just like Heartland, they get to live and enjoy life. My parents, are growing up, and I see them aging, and with the years that come, and I see them enjoying life. And I want everyone to have that satisfaction of knowing that they do have plenty of years to live because they've took care of themselves and they took care of their nutrition. It's important. It's a very important part of who we are. And you were mentioning earlier, it even changes your mood, right? Sometimes when you eat something that it just feels heavy, you don't feel as energetic. So my passion, again, started when I was little and trying to read the labels of the products and how they are made and what are the ingredients on them. And then if I didn't understand them, at the time, there was no Google, so I would grab a dictionary and try to find more about those ingredients. But it was always fascinating to see how we can feed, the entire world, and how ingredients and packaging materials, in this case, they get combined and provide, nutritious options for the markets.
Amazing. And where can people find out more about the Splenda Stevia Farm? And is it available in grocery stores across the country?
Yes. So Splenda Stevia is available all around the country. And our farm is active. You can learn more about it at www.splenda.com/stevia farms. And there we have plenty of information there. And obviously, we'll keep posting online and social media more about our journey of this new farm and the product portfolio. We no longer just make, the packets or the pouch that you're used to, but if you look into it, we're creating coffee creamers sweetened with Splenda. And we're making
That's exciting.
tea and water enhancers. So if you look at our portfolio, we even have a diabetes care shake, so a protein shake for people with diabetes that is a well-balanced with full nutrition. So you can learn more about the product portfolio, and stevia obviously plays a big role. My favorite product, which you haven't asked, but I will tell you, my favorite product is a product that we just launched. It's called Magic Baker. It's an all-natural sweetener that is perfect for baking. So if you are in the mood of making cookies or a cake, I would ask you to try that and just substitute it like sugar 1-to-1. And I think you'll be very, very pleased. And that's sweetened with stevia, by the way.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm definitely going to have to try that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ricardo, for joining me today. That's a great information and it's a super interesting new crop. So I think our listeners are definitely going to be excited to hear about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for inviting me.
And thanks to all who are watching or listening. If you want to learn more, the links are provided in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, AgFuse channels. And the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And have a great day.
Thank you.
Our newest podcast by North American Ag is called What Color is Your Tractor? The stories behind the ag brands you love and the ag brands you love to hate. Hosted by me, Chrissy Wozniak. We take a deep dive into the companies that have built modern agriculture. Subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. Go to whatcolorisyourtractor.com. Available on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.